All right, so this is going to be a video about the percent grade questions that you were given. And it'll also go over maybe how to solve at least the first one. So let's go ahead and take a look at the worksheet that you were given. So the worksheet looks something like, I can find it. Up here it is. So for number one, it says, what's the angle of elevation of a ramp that has a grade of 8.3%? Right, so if you read the notes on percent grade, then you'll know that it should look something like this. Let me share my work here. So angle of elevation, of course, is going up from the horizon. So if we draw a triangle, right, this is my ramp. The angle of elevation from the horizon is going up. So that's this angle here. And percent grade essentially means a slope. And if it's a percent, it's out of 100. So the slope, if it's 8.3%, is essentially, so 8.3% grade is 8.3 feet every 100 because it's a percent, right? So if it goes up 8.3 feet, it has to go over 100, rise over run, right? So this would be the initial setup for number one. So that's all you were expected to do for today. For number two, same idea, it says 78%. So we have 78 here, 100 here, right? 78 over 100 is 78%, again, using this angle of elevation. And then number five, very similar, except for this one, it gives you the angle of elevation is 11 degrees, and it wants the percent grade. Well, percent grade, I always know, has a run of 100. I'm trying to find the rise, so I'll call that my x. Right, so if you looked at question number four, you probably already know the answer to this, but whenever you're doing percent grade questions, because you always, if this is our right angle in all of these, you always have the opposite and adjacent side compared to this angle of elevation. Opposite over adjacent is always going to be using the tangent function, right? So tangent of my angle is going to equal opposite over adjacent. Now we talked about this in the last section, right? How do we get rid of a trig function? Well, we take the inverse. So I'm going to take inverse tangent of this side, which will cross those out. And whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So inverse tangent of that side as well. So theta, my missing angle, my angle of elevation is just going to be whatever inverse tangent of 8.3 over 100 is. Now, when you do this on your calculator, make sure you're in degree mode, right? We want to be in degree mode for all of these. So if I do inverse tangent of 8.3 divided by 100, to the nearest tenth, it looks like 4.7 degrees, right? So that's that one. The second one here is going to be set up the same way, same as the third, except for the third, you will not have to use an inverse because you already have the angle. That's just going to be a normal trig function, and you'll know both of these are that tangent function because, with, like I said, with percent grade, you'll always have the opposite over the adjacent. Number three, I'm not going to go over number three. I think is a pretty straightforward question. And it's also a bonus. So if you hand that in with your work when we solve it here, you will get a bonus for that as well. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Please like, share, comment what you want to see, and we'll continue on this tomorrow. Thank you.